Hungry for fame from an early age, Gemma Collins finally gained notoriety aged 30.
Everyone that ever doubted me said I was never gonna be anything. You.
But after 5 years in the limelight, it all came crashing down.
I've had some terrible relationships. I've had some terrible things done to me.
Gemma now has to face up to the reality world she has created.
You will continue to live like a child with no responsibility, no humility and no real gratitude.
But it's not my fault.
And try to make sense of a life built from fantasy.
The lack of humility that you have bothers me.
But I had to do it. What was I going to do? I needed money.
But renowned quitter Collins chose to run away again.
So my best outcome from this is for her to understand that I mean business. I know Gemma is a reality TV star, but this girl lives in fantasy.
I would like someone to take full responsibility for me.
So would I, you.
Following a difficult 18 months in which she made an early exit from I'm a Celebrity and a string of poor relationship choices, Gemma is looking to begin a new chapter in her life. So she's seeking the help of renowned therapist Mandy Saligari.
Any therapist that you've either worked with?
No, I never.
Never had a therapist?
No. Yeah, there's nothing wrong with me.
Now, that's a really interesting statement to come into therapy with.
Because surely if someone's got a psychotherapist, they're a nutter.
Right, no.
Isn't it?
It's not the case.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, my God. Today is the real Gemma, the normal Gemma. I'm a bit shy. But the TV personality Gemma don't give a shit, basically. But that's not the real me. So I think I'm a bit nervous about being here today.
That's fine. Listen, lots of people are nervous when they come into therapy, I think, because you don't know what to expect. Because genuinely, my position here is to hear you and then maybe bounce some things back to you so you can go, oh, OK, did I say that? Is that what I think? Is that what I feel?
Yeah.
Oh, wow, is that a link?
Yeah.
So it's quite interesting that you don't have a
Yeah, I mean, I've had some terrible relationships. I've had some terrible things done to me. What I would like to know is why I was very in love with a person that absolutely treated me like shit, but I couldn't see it.
Right.
In 2014, just hours before she was due to fly to the celebrity jungle, the police were called to Gemma's flat after an incident involving her ex-boyfriend, Alex Moss.
I then went into the jungle, really in a distressed state, but no one knew. And then obviously I left days later. For a whole year, I've taken so much stick because no one knew the real truth. And, oh, she was hungry, that's why she left and all that, it's all crap.
People that murder get treated better than this. And that's the truth. Even a murderer gets fed 3 times a day.
Gemma's poor relationship choices started early in life.
The first guy I went out with, I never really fancied him. When I met him, we was really good friends. And then he was so kind to me that I ended up falling in love with him. We was together 5 years. I was pregnant. We had a beautiful house, like beautiful barn conversion, had money and everything. And then he rang me up at work one day. He said, I got a funny feeling. I said, what's that? He said, I just don't want to be with you no more, and put the phone down. I was just so hurt by it. And then I was embarrassed by it as well, because how can someone so disgusting dump me? I was the beautiful one in that relationship. I was, all right, he had loads of money, but that was about it.
Gemma lost her boyfriend, her home, and her baby.
I would have had that baby 110%. 110% would have had the baby, so I had to deal. I felt guilty about all of that. And I think what come from that, I used to feel so empty. I had this right terrible feeling inside me that I would just eat. And the more I ate, the more it went away. If you was to say to me, when did you start gaining weight? I was so sad. And I had so much pain inside me that every time I felt the pain, I'd eat something to think, oh, that'll get rid of it. And I think that's where I started gaining weight.
Most people comfort eat to suffocate an uncomfortable emotion. You put the food in to kind of push it all the way down so that you end up feeling full. Some people comfort eat to the point of feeling disgusted with themselves as a preferable feeling to the one of fear, insecurity, and a big one is loneliness.
I deserve to be with someone fabulous. I've come from a fantastic mum and dad.
Actually, just tell me a bit about your mum and dad.
They're really normal. They're out of Dagenham. My dad, he was like skint. They'd had right hard lives. My mum was adopted. He's not material at all, whereas my mum always wanted the best for me and my brother because she never had it.
Any spare money I had went on my kids. As long as my kids were happy, I was happy. Yeah.
She wanted me to have the same button shoes as the royal family kids had. So my poor dad, not only did he work all day, he took a shift in a pub to earn the money to get me these dolly shoes that he had to drive halfway up the country to get. I mean, it's hysterical, really. I feel for the poor bloke, but he done it.
The family fortunes changed when Gemma's father set up his own shipping business. Expensive shopping trips to London's major stores became a frequent occurrence as her parents spoilt her with designer goods.
I can remember my mum's friend standing in the kitchen back at home and my mum's friend going, "Why do you think that's normal, Joan, to buy her 4 bikinis? This is not good for Gemma. This is not going to be good for her growing up." And I remember that to this day. And it's like it's just flashed back talking to you now.
With her mother's encouragement, Gemma joined her local theatre school, where she finally received the adulation she'd always craved.
I always used to say to my mum as a little girl, I want to be famous. I want to be as famous as Madonna.
That was the best time of my life. She used to do everything, singing, dancing. She just grew and grew and grew.
I remember one day she phoned me up and said, I want to be an actress. It was quite clear to me that she wasn't an actress because actresses learn to transform themselves. With Gemma, what you see is what you get.
We're going to look about and discover about when the people were buried under the stones. We do find this interesting because I love history.
Going through drama school was the best thing I ever done, I think, for my kids.
Because she grew up with no confidence, she wanted me to have all this confidence and, you know, like, she makes me die. She said, "Gemma, out of all the thousands of people in Oxford Street, I've just seen you walking along. You're a star, Gemma."
Your mum wanting to provide in this way for you was in some way making sure that you didn't suffer in the way that she did.
Oh, she never wanted me to suffer.
Yeah. So she must have suffered. It must have hurt at some point for her to want to protect you from that.
I think she had a hard upbringing. But I don't really talk to her back because I don't want to hear it, do you know what I mean? So...
Yeah. I'd like to help you.
But exploring her childhood and expressing real emotions will prove difficult for Gemma.
Gemma, I'm absolutely gutted that you're not here because I thought we'd started something really good. I want her to see that I have intent to work with her as a therapist, that this is not about a performance and that she can get some benefit out of it if she's prepared to give that commitment and turn up and do the work.
Gemma Collins has spent the last 5 years playing her unreserved alter ego, the GC, on reality show The Only Way Is Essex.
I want the love and the romance. I want, like, Mick to walk out the woods and, like, impregnate me.
Always wearing her heart on her sleeve, the GC has never been one to shy away from sharing her feelings.
I baked him an apple pie. I've supported his nightclub. Don't roll your eyes, because that's rude.
But for the real Gemma Collins, expressing true thoughts and feelings is hard, and she fails to show up for her next session.
When somebody comes into therapy, we have a pattern of kind of session 1, session 2, session 3, etc. And session 1, people come in guarded. They're having a look at me, I'm having a look at them. Then often they will give me information. And then they go away, and what happens is people feel terror. Oh, I can't believe I said that. can't believe she saw that. You know, all that fear kicks in. So if they come to the second session, they often come in with a kind of denial, pushing back. I didn't really mean that. You know, I only said that because. Or they don't come at all. They just do a runner. I want her to see that I have intent to work with her as a therapist, that this is not about a performance, and that she can get some benefit out of it if she's prepared to give that commitment and turn up and do the work. So my best outcome from this is for her to understand that I mean business and that there's something for her to be gained out of it.
All right.
Hello.
Come in.
Thank you.
It's all right.
Where are we going, in here?
Yep.
Thanks. Before we go any further, can I just check in with you to see how you feel? Just as a kind of opener, I just want to know how you feel.
I can normally fluff people and, like, kind of give them the old sales pitch, but because you're a therapist, you're not going to buy it. I just felt vulnerable. Yeah. I felt scared, and that's when I hit my fuck it button. And I just went, fuck it, I ain't going.
When Gemma came clean, I thought, oh, you got in just before me, because I was about to challenge her. And she beat me to it. I just want to say, I am so glad you're honest with me.
And I am being honest.
Because my instinct this morning, which is why I rang you, was it would be so easy to punish, get angry with you for something like that. Yeah. But my sense of you was, when we met, when you pulled your feet up on the sofa and went, oh my God, we can do something here. Yeah. I was really surprised that you didn't come in today, and I thought, have I got that wrong?
I thought I was going to cry a lot because I just woke up on the wrong side of bed today, and I thought, this woman's going to think I'm weird, I'm not going.
I don't think you're weird.
No, so that's why I didn't come.
Okay. But I need you to come and see me in London.
I'm coming to London. I promise you, I'll even get the train. I promise I'm coming. I promise I'm coming. And thank you for having that good mindset about me, because not many people do.
34-year-old Gemma has spent most of her adult life living with her parents. Therapist Mandy is keen to understand the reasons why.
Loved it. Dad was good as gold, never charged me any rent or anything, so all my money was my own. And I just go out swigging pink champagne, weekends in elf spas, days up Harrods.
With no bills to pay, Gemma developed an appetite for a lavish lifestyle, one she wasn't able to fund herself.
I run up about 14 grand on a credit card, but it's not my fault. Like, well, basically, no, it is my fault. But because I was given everything, I didn't really know the value of money. You know what it's like, you're young, you get a credit card. And my dad did bail me out, yeah.
Do you think that was the right thing to do?
This makes me sound terrible, but I did do it again. And he said to me, I can't believe you've done this. And nor can I. I don't know what's happened here.
Have you ever paid him back?
I think I did.
But if you feel really bad about it, then when you've got 14 grand in...
It's not my fault, because what happened was, every Saturday we'd come up to London. I'd have clothes, shoes, whatever, but my salary did not cover the things that I needed.
Wanted?
Wanted, yeah.
Then surely when you have 14 grand in your pocket, the priority is to return it to your dad. And when he goes, no, darling, don't worry, you say, Dad, you need to let me grow up. I want to pay you back.
Look, the problem I think I've had here is that as a young girl, I've been whisked up to London. I've been to the best restaurants, the best hotels, the best holidays, yeah? So it's not my mum and dad's fault. They just wanted to, like, they're very normal, do you know what I mean? But they gave as much as they could, yeah?
So slow down there a second. Just as you're moving into why you think you might be set up to be the way you are, which may be a problem, you go back in to defend your parents.
Yeah. Well, they've never hit me or nothing like that. But so then...
But they've indulged you.
I've been terribly indulged. I've always had a very good man next to me, yeah?
That's questionable, actually.
No, me dad, meaning my dad,
Okay.
yeah. That I've always known my dad is the provider of the house, my dad has clothed us, done everything, basically. Like, I've always worked. Like, he will even tell you that. I did always go to work, yeah, but 30 quid doesn't cut it. And you're up London in the West End with your mum and dad. What was 30 quid?
I don't know, but I struggle because I know there are people who are earning 30 quid and looking after families.
Yeah, I know.
And the lack of humility that you have bothers me.
I think you're right. I'm a big baby. All my friends say I'm a baby. I am a baby. It's embarrassing.
Yeah, at 34, maybe it was cute in your 20s, but at 34...
But some days I think I wish me and my mum and dad could have a big house with, and then I have a little side annex, but we all live together and I've got no responsibility. My dad sorts everything out and all I've got to do is go and be me every day.
So the forever child.
Yes.
So just listen to me for a second. Until you let your dad go and allow him to step back...
Well, I don't ask my dad for nothing.
No, you're talking about wanting the parental figure.
Yeah.
Somebody who takes responsibility, who picks up
I would like
pieces.
someone to take full responsibility for me.
So would I, you. You need to respect the fact that you're earning money and not just let it slip through your fingers as if it's going to be, if it's attached to a forever pipe. I honestly think that Gemma didn't realise there was anything wrong with her taking her dad's money and paying off her debts until I just brought it. And then she shifted uncomfortably in that session. And I think the penny dropped. I think she realised it keeps her in a kind of irresponsible child state. So how did Towie start for you? Did you just get found or did you go to an
I was friends
audition?
with Amy and Harry. Obviously, Amy was in the first show. And I loved it. And I can remember sitting there with my mum and we was like, oh my God, this show is amazing.
Towie were looking for cast members and they said to me, Amy, do you know anyone? And I said, oh my God, I've got the best person for you. And it was Gemma.
And literally, by the time the second show had gone out, I'd had a phone call to go and see them. And that's how it all came about.
I took her to a spa day for her 30th, and that's when she just had the call about going on to the show. And I remember us sitting there in our dressing gowns, chatting about it, and I was like, Gemma, this could be the making of you, do it.
And it was. Aged 30, Gemma had finally found fame and a home for her outspoken personality. The GC was born.
The GC is a character you definitely don't want to mess with, and as we've seen on Towie, her outbursts are absolutely legendary.
The reason I don't talk to you is because you're a fucking two-faced slag.
She has no emotional filter. What she feels is just out there, and if she's in a confrontational situation, she will not back down.
You piped up to me, don't ever fucking get leery with me.
Oh, Gemma,
you're a bully.
And that's what you get with Gemma. If she don't like something, she'll just tell you straight to your face.
Crack on, fuck off. My mum is sitting there. I always knew you was going to be famous. All these years I've spent on you, Gemma, it's paying off.
It was paying off in more ways than one. The increased exposure brought Gemma a new source of income.
I had an agent approach me. Right, Gem, listen, you can earn so much money. This is what we're going to do. The only way to make money in this game, Gemma, is relationships, weight gain, weight loss, yeah? That's how you're going to make money.
I think celebrities would be tempted to do weight loss features because it can be highly profitable.
As the size of her personality propelled her to success on our screens, the size of her waist caught the attention of the gossip mags.
I can just remember it all. It was like, you know, you need to go over to the park and be pictured in gym wear looking really massive. We want to get some terrible shots of you. But then you'll get like 15 grand for the pictures, Gemma. So looking back now, I never, ever, ever would have gone down this whole route of the weight gain, the weight loss, but it was just a fast way to a quick bit of money.
In May 2011, Gemma was offered a significant fee to take part in a weight loss boot camp. After 6 weeks, she'd dropped less weight than her contract required.
I turn up for the photo shoot. I'm wearing a size 14 bikini, which size 14 isn't big, and the stick thin editor looks at me and says, you ain't lost enough weight, we ain't paying you out on the deal.
But it's like you are a commodity in your own world. I mean, I find myself having feelings I can't quite name. It's like you're prepared to sell yourself. It's like you're prepared to put your body through that to earn money.
Do you think we earned millions on Towie? No, we got paid 50 quid.
Gemma is her own product and she's her own press machine. And she's phenomenally exploitative of herself. She doesn't treat herself with respect. And she treats herself as if there's always more, always more. She needs to understand that celebrity has a shelf life. And right now, she may be in the sunshine, but that she should treat that wisely. You know, like your assumption that one day you'll be famous, you always knew it. Your mum reinforced it, you always knew it. So there's this sense of security that you have. Do you honestly believe that there will always be more of where that comes from?
Yeah, 100%, because I'll go out and work for it. That's what drives me on.
And if you got ill?
I'll never get ill. I won't allow myself to get ill.
What I'm saying to you is that no one's immune. We're human. Please don't think you're immune, because that is naive. You are simply mortal. And so are your parents.
Your mum's got arthritis, but ain't it all power of the mind?
No.
Oh.
2 years ago, Gemma's mum was diagnosed with rheumatoid arthritis, affecting her ability to walk.
I couldn't always cope with seeing my mum in the wheelchair. So I just used to think, oh God, this is terrible. Like, how's this happened to my mum? But every day I've just been positive for her, like, oh Mum, you're gonna be better soon. Don't worry about it.
It's okay to remain positive, but I think you've taken it to a whole new dimension. And I think you're defending against vulnerability by believing you're invincible, by behaving with money as if it will always be there, by behaving with your health as if it will always be there. It's like the denial of your humanness. It's like the denial of the fragility of life. It's the denial of that. What you do, I think, is you show no respect for it, as if that would help you feel secure.
Gemma's lack of respect for her own health would soon catch up with her.
Because I was so busy trying to be famous that I'd forgot about periods. So I ended up giving birth on my landing.
Gemma Collins is one of the UK's most outspoken reality stars.
I'm mega confident, yeah, because I know I've got a designer vagina. I've not told you this, but I paid £2,000 and my vagina is perfect now.
Now 34, this forever child has turned to therapist Mandy Saligari to understand the personal cost of celebrity.
I woke up with excruciating pains. So my mum's going, oh, Gem, you got a bad stomach, just sit on the toilet, you're constipated. And I'm thinking, nah, like, this something's not right here. And then I rang an ambulance and I got up the stairs. And at that point, my mum could hear how much pain I was in and come out of the bedroom. And as she opened the door, I looked at her, she looked at me, and then bang. I ended up giving birth on my landing to this massive sack. I'd given birth to a 4.5-month-old baby, nearly 5 months. I didn't know what it was. This is how I don't know what world I've been living in.
This is a woman who is so out of touch with her body that she has no idea she's pregnant. She's having sex, perhaps without even the thought that she could be pregnant. And I think this theme is reflected in her relationship with her weight, and in fact, her relationship with not being an adult.
And then my initial reaction was, Mum, pick it up, put it down the toilet. What is it? What is it? Pick it up. And my mum said, leave it. And then with that, the ambulance come, and then they put me in the ambulance. I'm now in an ambulance going to Queen's Hospital. Then this woman's going to me, do you want to bury your baby? Do you want to sign it over for scientific research? My mum's sitting there, I'm sitting there. I don't know what's going on. I can't even remember what I said. I can remember getting in the car, my mum started crying, and I said, Mum, why are you crying? Because if anyone should be crying, love, it's me. But I knew I had to go and perform at the National Television Awards. I can look at that picture now and I know I had loads of padding on underneath because I was really, really, really bleeding heavily. But to the outside world, they wouldn't know because they see a vintage £3.5 grand dress, my hair done nice, smiling nice, posing nice, all the bollocks that goes with it.
Do you have feelings as you talk about what just happened? Does anything happen to you?
No.
So you're really dissociated
Because I
it?
really had to disassociate myself with that. And
because that is absolutely a traumatic event, without a doubt. The loss of your child is shocking and traumatic. And to be able to talk about that with so little feeling is an indicator that there's work to be done there to help you connect up to and properly grieve that experience.
Yeah. And I would be up for that. Do you know what I
believe you.
mean? It's only when I hear you saying it back, I think, God, bloody hell, that did happen to me.
Yeah.
But the show had to go on.
And the show did go on. But after 10 more series of Towie and relentless negative press, Gemma began to question her love of the limelight.
You have shit pictures put out about you every 5 minutes, people slagging you off. Let's see how you cope with it.
Well, Gemma's weight has fluctuated from a size 14 to a size 22 since she first appeared on Towie. And like everything she does, it's always grabbed the headlines.
You know, out of everyone on Towie, she does get, you know, probably the most negative press. And I do feel really sorry for her for that. I really do.
It's a fucking nightmare. Do you see? I can't just be me.
And it wasn't just the off-screen attention that was a problem. Gemma was tired of her on-screen character, the GC.
What I was trying to say to you last
can
night.
I just say your vibe is so uptight and angst. We're in Marbella,
So do you,
Bob.
Gemma.
Let's get a drink, come.
I'd be like launching a clothing collection in Evans with Philip Green, and then you'd see me on Sunday on the TV arguing with 21-year-olds. Like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
How the hell could anyone take me seriously here?
Yep.
We had to kind of pretend that we weren't famous anymore and still living this normal life. But we weren't. So it got to the point where you didn't know who you was then. I used to look at him and think, who am I today? Am I Gemma from years ago, or I'm 4 years on in my life, but I'm still having to go back to be that girl from years, and I can't be her. I've forgotten who, my life's different now.
As the show was marketed as reality TV, Gemma was expected to act in character even off camera.
People come into my shop to meet me, but like some days people come in, I'll be like, oh, hi, can I help you? And they're like, I'm gonna have a row, like you do on Towie. And then I start feeling really stressed out because I think these people want a performance all the time. Why don't they just know that I'm normal? Like, it's like they want the performance.
Inevitably, the life and identity of a reality star becomes confusing between who I am and who I am known to be, how I perform on the show, who the public knows me to be, who everybody wants me to be as I turn up and do that scene, and then actually who I am. And sometimes the real person can feel deflated, kind of disappointing.
The real Gemma was now making decisions in her personal life based on how it would benefit her on-screen character.
I made terrible relationship decisions. Like, for instance, I went out with this guy called Rami, and the only reason I went out with him wasn't because I fancied him, weren't because I liked him. It was because I was on this reality TV show. I then moved to Chigwell. I then went to the pub, met this bloke called Rami. I was so scared living on my own in Chigwell. I decided Rami will do. He'll give me a storyline for the show. And plus, he can sleep next to me so I don't feel scared of a night in Chigwell.
Wow.
When you become famous, nothing's real anymore.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think it's easy to forget the reality. Well, what is real in your life?
What's real in my life?
What's that? When you go like that, when you go, what are you feeling when you do that?
I can't think, like, what's real in my life?
So much is constructed reality.
Yeah.
So much is well presented, and I don't know, it makes me ask the question.
I don't know what's real I don't know what's real. My friends are real, my shop's real, my mum and dad are real, and that's it.
The line between real life and reality life is very, very thin. And in order to survive it, you have to have a very strong sense of your moral code. Given Gemma's background, I don't think she was ever given a strong moral compass.
But Gemma's next relationship choice would generate more drama than either Gemma or the GC could ever have anticipated.
I was locking up the shop and this car pulls up and this guy got out. He went, "Gemma." I went, "Yeah." I said, "I recognise you." He said, "Yeah, I'm Alex's mate." So I was like, "Oh my God, I haven't seen you for years." He went, "He's in prison." So I said, "Oh, there's a shocker." So he said he gets out on weekend release. He's coming home in a couple of months. He said, "I'd love to surprise him and get him to hook up with you." So that is what happened. Knock, knock, knock on the door. I open it. He looks at me. I look at him. Looking back now, he was looking like a fucking meal ticket. He must have thought I've won the lottery with this girl. I was very vulnerable.
Yeah.
Within less than an hour, I'm a terrible romantic.
I can see that.
I love romance.
I can really see that.
He's then looking at me, I'm looking at him thinking, this is fate. This is what I've waited for my whole life. This is the one. He used to get out every weekend. He then went and got my name tattooed across his chest, Gemma. So I'm now more in love. I felt happiness, but the sad thing about him is he had 47 pounds to his name when I met him. I had him in Todd's loafers, took him Harrods, kitted him out in the best clothes. I turned him into a movie star. He had a Range Rover and he fucks me over so bad.
She loves a bad boy. You know, I think us Essex girls, we do like a bad boy, but Gemma especially loves a bad boy. Loves it.
I have always dreamed of meeting this guy who's a bit of a geezer, like... My mum and dad always tell me off for saying this, but I always say, oh, I want a geezer, I want a gangster, I want a gangster. They're like, please stop being so stupid, Gemma, you're an idiot. But when I say gangster, I mean someone like Ray Winston. Oh my God, he would be my perfect man. So he's a little bit naughty, a proper geezer, someone that can protect me. I think I'm really looking for someone that can protect me, someone that I can just fall into their arms and know that everything's going to be taken care of.
I know Gemma is a reality TV star, but this girl lives in fantasy, and many people do. And as a result, they avoid the kind of real-life consequences that teach all of us how to be an adult in an adult world. And I hear Gemma saying the kind of fantasy of wanting to, I don't know, I love, oh, I could fall in love with a gangster man, she says. I love that world. And I'm looking at her thinking, do you really hanker after that life? People properly get hurt. And she seems to be completely oblivious to this.
The night before Gemma left for I'm a Celebrity, the police were called to her house when a row between Gemma and her then-boyfriend Alex Moss got out of hand.
This whole flat was smashed.
Alex was arrested but never charged. He later returned to prison for other offences.
He was writing to me from the prison saying how sorry he was. I then hired a barrister to get him out of prison. And when I see him, I still had that insatiable love for him. And it was like I was permanently trying to save him, but constantly damaging myself at the same time.
I really hear how you throw caution to the wind in the hope that that feeling that you have, that sense of connection, the willingness to commit, the sense of belonging, whatever you want to call it, that certainty, you gamble so much on that. You
gamble everything. I was prepared to lose everything I've got for Alex.
And we need to look at that so that that's not possible, because one of the people, someone round here, needs some of the love that you're so willing to give away.
Yeah, I never get it back.
And that someone needs to be you.
Yeah, but I never get it.
No, from you.
Oh.
When Gemma gets nothing back from the person that she has overgiven to, she feels ripped off, betrayed, resentful. It's that very classic, what I would call a codependent trait of, after all I've done for you, you treat me like that. You know this thing about generosity? I would give anyone anything if I care about them, because I feel good about that. I'm reminded of your parents when I say that.
Yeah, yeah.
Which also means you are primed to give because apparently it's the act of giving that makes you feel good. You don't look at the consequences, the fact that you overspend emotionally, mentally, financially, in terms of time, in terms of respect. You just leave yourself wide open. You know, it's a really common mistake. Lots of people wonder why someone doesn't respect them. And the answer is, if you don't respect yourself, then you don't ask for respect from people around you. You just don't ask for it. And Gemma, in her overgiving and all her compensating, invites disrespect. She invites being taken for granted. They have infantilized you, and you will continue to live like a child with no responsibility, no humility, and no real gratitude.
Focused on fame from an early age, Gemma Collins used her outspoken personality to cause havoc in reality TV show Towie. But recently, her off-screen and on-screen lives have blurred, and 34-year-old Gemma is lost.
Well, what is real in your life?
With the help of therapist Mandy Saligari, she has been trying to reconnect with the real Gemma Collins and learn from her past mistakes.
Gemma has achieved what her parents said she was going to achieve. She's famous. It's just that she doesn't know what to do with that fame, because that was never part of the original script. The script was, you're going to be famous. Ding dong, here she is, famous. Spending her money, living in the moment, not laying any foundations for growth or for development, and actually not even realising it. The kind of eternal child.
Hello, how are you? Come on in. When I lived at home, my dad used to open my letters for me and deal with everything. He'd pay my phone bill, he'd pay for this. This is what's happened here.
He's infantilised you, which means that unless you grow up...
It is their fault, isn't it? It's not mine, come on.
Well, it's now your responsibility. Lots of people have... Wait a minute, wait a second.
Go on.
Lots of people have influences through their childhood, and I believe your parents did it with the best of intention. And I think your mum, in particular, was healing her own feelings of neglect by indulging you. So I don't want to deliver her the mortal blow of saying that she's done something wrong.
No, because they've only tried their best. I do love them.
But for it not to be a mortal blow, you have got to take responsibility and make what they gave you adult. Otherwise, they have infantilised you, and you will continue to live like a child with no responsibility, no humility, and no real gratitude. To make what they've given you worthwhile, you have to learn how to seat it in something respectful.
And I want to learn it. I really want to learn it, because I know what you're saying is right. And it's like, sometimes I see my dad now and he pisses me off. He comes to my shop, the shop was really busy, and then he starts rattling on to me about tax and VAT, and I'm looking at him thinking, mate, why are you stressing me out? Sort it out for me. I want to say to him, sort it out for me, but I don't say it because I don't embarrass myself and say it. And it's like, I think I get frustrated sometimes because I think, oh, shit, I wish he could sort this out for me, because obviously when I was at home, if I run up a credit card, he'd pay it off.
Right, so what I want you to do is I want you to go to your dad and I want you to say to him, my instinct is to say, sort it out for me, but I know that's not realistic. So I want you to show me so that I can learn how to take responsibility for this myself.
Yeah, he will gladly do that. He will probably pass out
to pass the baton.
Yeah. I think I'm under a lot of pressure all the time, don't you? Or is it me putting myself under that pressure?
I think you're putting yourself under pressure because I think you're hiding in chaos. I think you generate drama and pressure so that you don't have to take responsibility for yourself, so you can stick that to the bottom of your list. And I think you're very...
You are so right.
And I think you're very frightened of taking responsibility, because if you do, you end up stepping away from your parents and then they will grow old.
I am scared of responsibility. I'm just not interested in it.
Taking responsibility for yourself is a sign of self-respect. And if Gemma were to take responsibility and use her money more wisely, lay in the foundations, really respect the fact that she needs to take care of herself, that she matters. When she starts putting those actions into place, I think a partner will follow that will treat her in the same way.
I waste my mind on so many trivial things and silly boys and stupid handbags and clothes and stuff that is so not important. Whereas if I put my mind to something proper, as in when I say proper, like you told me to be more mature, and that really penny dropped with me as well. You're right, I've been a kid. I've been a total kid. Like, I'm a switched on young girl. Like, grow up, Gemma. Like, it's so weird how I've been behaving. I don't know what happened to me after last session, but I didn't even have to have a strong word with myself. It was kind of like the light bulb come on and the phone goes. It's Alex. All right, babe. Yeah. It's my birthday Saturday. Where are we going? Normally I'd be thinking, oh God, what am I gonna wear? Where am I gonna get this cake from?
Yeah.
There was no tug. So I'm on the other end of the phone and I just went because I wanted to get him off the phone. I didn't want to be nasty. I didn't want to be angry. I actually felt very in control. Oh yeah, we'll sort something out. We'll do something. Call you towards the end of the week. I put the phone down and I thought, this person does not deserve any more of your mind space.
Good.
And I don't feel that I need to have any conversations with him. And I actually look back at it and I think, thank you for teaching me a lesson.
Good.
I would never, ever, ever allow myself, through self-respect and self-worth, to ever be treated in that way again. No. No way. I just feel that the future's all mine now. And I have got back in touch with Gemma, and Gemma is a less needy, probably much more less attention-seeking. She's quite sweet, really, and even though I hate saying that about myself.
Do you?
And yeah.
Why?
I don't know. I just feel like proper cringy when I say it. But it's like I've really got in touch with myself again. And this has been amazing for me because what's happened here will bode me well for my future. And I think I've realised that I'm definitely not indestructible. I'm not untouchable.
Yeah.
I'm just like every other human being on this earth. I would say I've got star quality. I'm not gonna not say that. I do think there's something about me that led me to do what I'm doing now. But I'm definitely, I could never sit here and say my shit don't stink. I'm not gonna be perfect overnight. I'll never be perfect. But I thank you so, 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 so much.
You know, you came in here in your first session, and I think you've really travelled from session 1 to our ending now, because you could have done anything. You could have walked out, tossed a strop, caused trouble, done the quitting Gemma, fronted up to me, and you didn't. You've talked about your weight. You've talked about being sweet and finding that a bit cringy to say and to admit.
Yeah.
And all that tells me is it's about you beginning to get in touch with you. Let it deepen. Let yourself settle. Don't rush yourself.
No.
And I think you will do well.
It's nice to actually know that being Gemma is good enough.
And if you've been affected by any of the issues Gemma discussed in this programme, please go to channel5.com/intherapy. Big Brother's Bit on the Side is up next.